Hi guys, it's Debbie again. Another quick video to show you a scrapbook page that I finished for my granddaughter. I had already scrapbooked a page or a photo very similar to this one, but she wasn't sitting down, and I had designed and created a cut file for this paper doll that was of her mimicking this particular pose. You can't tell it because I have it behind this wheelbarrow, but I wanted to use that cut file, so I decided to scrapbook this photo as well. The paper collection that I used was from Kaisercraft, and it was called the Dancing Jewel Collection, and this is the paper that was called Quartz, and it was double-sided, so I used one side for the background, and then I just tore a piece of the polka dot and used it. I distressed the edges with vintage photo and then used that as the background. I've used this cut file before. It's from SVG Cuts, and it's called the Gothic Gate, but I cut the posts that were in the center out of it, and I painted the background of the frame with a dark plum color, and then I let it dry and painted on a crackle medium. Let that dry, and then I painted on cream, so I got the crackle finish. And when I started out on the background, this area here is using texture paste, and what I did is I used this template, or this stencil, what I call a stencil, they call it a template. It's by the Crafters Workshop, and it's called Flutterby, and it has all of these butterflies on it. So I laid it against the background, and I spread the texture paste over it, so I got the butterfly in the background, and because that texture paste dries rather it's got a milky white color, but you can see through it, so you can still see the dragonflies that were on the paper, and I thought that turned out really pretty. These dragonflies I cut out of scraps from that paper, and I put stickles on them. And the wheelbarrow is actually a stamp from a company called Stamps Happen Incorporated, and it's a wheelbarrow stamp. So I stamped it on a piece of white paper and then distressed it with vintage photo, and I don't remember the ink I used on that, but it was a gray ink. I think it was Color Box. And then I just did some quilling, some quilled flowers and a few just little punched flowers to make it look like the wheelbarrow was full of flowers. And then for this, I love these dies. Usually these packages, it's from Die-namics, and usually they come with one die cut and then stamps that they're very versatile, because these are actually separate pieces, these frames, so that you can use any of the phrases that come in it, and you can use a different frame around it. So I just did a die cut of real thin it's like the back of a cereal box, but it was very thin, and I cut that out of it and used the khaki side, and then just used two pieces out of the stamp set to stamp "You Are Beautiful." And then I wanted to use fuchsia flowers, and I didn't have anything that would cut the pieces that I needed, so I designed another cut file, an SVG cut file, to make these flowers, and I was really happy with them. They took some fiddling because they were so tiny, and this little cone that I made with one of the pieces of the cut file that I designed was so tiny, it was kind of hard to get the rest of the pieces in there, but I did manage it with a pair of tweezers. And I was real happy with the way it turned out. I made it look sort of like it was, you know, how they dangle out of a basket, and had it starting from the wheelbarrow. And that's about it. I didn't do a lot to this one because I wanted the photo to really stand out. So I'll just set it back and just show the whole page. And that was it. Thank you so much for watching.